This video is brought to you by Lingo Pie. Stay tuned till later in the video for all the details.
I'm on my way now.
Let us welcome you officially to the rooftop of our new home here in Cabarete. We're finally back in the town.
We are. So the last few weeks have been very, very busy. We were in Las Terranas, we were in Jarabacoa, we were in this amazing eco lodge that overlooked Puerto Plata.
Wow.
It's amazing. So we haven't really had much time to show you our new apartment. We moved a few weeks ago. We're here for a couple of months.
Yeah, today's the day. We show you all around. There's so much to see, so get ready.
If you happen to be new around here, we've been in the Dominican Republic for a few months now, so if you haven't watched our previous content, we have loads of videos. Go back and do that. My name is Anna. Trevor is behind the camera. We are the Delightful Travelers. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. It's a slow go, but it's coming along. But if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do right now. Also, give this video a like. It really helps get the word out there. And leave us a comment.
So as we stand on our rooftop here and admire the gorgeous view, you can see that a lot of the units in here have their own private rooftops. It's a very unique building, and I also just have to mention, take a look at the color of that water. This is so beautiful here.
So as Trevor just mentioned, this is actually our own private rooftop area just for our unit. They have a little bit of furniture up here, but I think our favorite part is that bench back behind me with the bar stools.
This is my kind of station. You can work here, you can have your morning coffee, you can have an Aperol Spritz or Vino Blanco at night and enjoy the gorgeous sunset. Also, because we're in Cabarete, there's always a really nice breeze here, so even though it's usually around 30 degrees Celsius, the breeze keeps us nice and cool.
The apartment that we're renting is typically a short-term rental, so I totally understand why they kept the furnishings pretty basic. I realize things probably get damaged all the time when you have people coming and going, but it's kind of a tease because I feel like if we owned this, we would totally deck it out with like flooring, maybe some outdoor rugs, that is, cushions. I noticed some people have hot tubs and others have like outdoor showers and loungers. You can basically make it a whole other room of your unit.
So we're gonna take you guys down to our apartment. It's just one floor down here, but those of you that follow us on Instagram would already know about this place because we showed it in stories, on Instagram stories. We're big fans of Instagram, but specifically we like Instagram stories. So if you're not following us, make sure to do that because we always have kind of behind the scenes and you get a first look at things.
So welcome to our apartment. The first thing that you're gonna notice is that it is a studio. It's quite small, but for us, not a big deal. We actually got stuck in the Philippines at the very beginning of the pandemic. Yes, that actually happened. We were in a hotel room for basically 4 months and we managed that just fine. We also have a very small condo at home in Halifax. It's like 500 square feet, just above that. And we also own a tiny house, so we're definitely very used to small spaces.
So just like the roof, there is great outdoor space here. As you can see, you have a few nice chairs right behind us, and the view that we look at is, well, it's amazing, just like the roof. Not quite as good, but it's also amazing. We have been spending quite a bit of time out here. The only thing I wish it had is an actual table where you can eat at. But again, I think it's just set up for short-term rentals for a few nights. We're here for quite a long time, so a table would come in handy just to, sit outside and eat.
All right, back inside, we do have a big king-size bed, super comfy, and then just right next to it is our living room area. We've got your sofa, coffee table, and then I guess this is sort of our eating area slash editing, working space as well. It's actually not that comfortable. I know Trevor was just talking about like outdoor eating space. He finds the chairs here a little bit uncomfortable, not the best. It's set up for short-term rentals and it's not the coziest or comfiest. So this is the kitchen area. It's actually relatively good. It's got full-size appliances, which I really like. There's a little bit of space on the counter to like meal prep and that kind of thing. Some stuff's a little bit weird. It's like there are full-size appliances, but they kind of block some of the cabinets, and like some stuff's really high up, and I have a really hard time being not that tall reaching it.
Just to go back to, this is really made for short-term rentals. It's clearly well designed, but it wasn't really thought out. That's our only issue with the place. We like it, but there's just some things that just don't quite make sense to us.
It's funny, we've overheard conversations with people that are clearly buying here and they're definitely redoing their kitchens.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, but one other little thing where we were just at on the patio, there's no screens, bug screens on the doors, and there's mosquitoes around. So I just find that a little bit odd as well.
It is a little bit weird, but no one seems to complain about it.
No
So
one
maybe
complains.
the mosquito thing isn't that big of an issue, I'm not sure. I forgot to say that there is a dishwasher here. That is definitely a major perk and probably my favorite thing about this kitchen. And it's definitely not a guaranteed thing here. We've noticed a lot of apartments do not have dishwashers. Closet area is right here. And we also do have a washer and dryer. That is another big perk. It's nice when you're staying a couple of months somewhere to not have to worry about going out to do your laundry.
Come on into the bathroom. Do you see yourself?
Yes.
Okay, so the bathroom does the trick. This is all we need. We have a nice little vanity. Of course, we have a toilet, that's very important. And we have a shower as well. The shower is just okay. It's an average shower, but it does the trick for us.
I just realized I totally skipped this area when we were walking by earlier. Our Wi-Fi router is here. It's actually really, really good Wi-Fi, some of the fastest we've had here in Cabarete. Also, our TV, which is right in front of the bed, so that's super cozy.
So you guys are always curious what we are watching on television or TV shows in general. We started watching Tehran, which is so good.
Yeah, we're a little late to the game on that. I think it came out a year or two ago.
Yeah,
but
it
it's
did.
really good. It's a little bit like Homeland.
Yeah.
It has vibes like that. I've also been watching The Wheel of Time.
Yeah, that's a fun one as well.
Yeah, a fantasy kind of show.
Speaking of TV shows, that brings us to this week's sponsor, Lingo Pie.
When we travel around the world, we often visit countries where not many people speak English.
And that's perfectly okay with us, by the way.
But once in a while, we'll run into somebody that speaks really, really fantastic English, and we end up asking them how did they learn, and oftentimes they say by watching TV shows in English.
Lingo Pie has taken this concept and absolutely mastered it. For us, it's perfect because we're in a Spanish-speaking country and we're trying to brush up on our Spanish.
You get to learn a new language while exploring different cultures and enjoying great TV and movie content from around the world. With Lingo Pie, you get to watch original local content with same language subtitles. There's also an option to add dual subtitles, subtitles displayed in both the foreign language and English. Even better, there are interactive subtitles. You get an instant translation by clicking on the subtitle words that you are not familiar with. Or mashup, which mixes the foreign subtitles together with English.
And there's also on-screen transcription, a sidebar script that shows you all the sentences of the show or movie. Once you click on a word that you don't understand, it gets added to your flashcards, where you can go to later review all of those words. You can also test your newfound language skills with Lingo Pie's auto-generated quizzes. If you aren't sure how to pronounce a word, there's also a built-in Say It feature. Just click on the microphone in the bottom right corner. You can also change the playback speed of your TV show or movie to your preferred language learning level.
You are never going to run out of content to watch as Lingo Pie adds new TV shows and movies every week to the catalog.
We're gonna put a link down in the description below for a 7-day free trial so you can try out Lingo Pie.
Big thank you to Lingo Pie for sponsoring this video and supporting creators like us.
So we're now outside our place on our way to go get some lunch because we haven't eaten today. Somehow that happened, but I know you guys saw the pool and you're gonna wanna see that back at our condo. We're gonna take you back there right after we eat lunch. So welcome to Cabarete Coffee. This is one of our favorite coffee shops in the whole town. I got a delicious iced coffee to drink today. Anna has gotten a juice. We're sitting here outside. You're gonna hear a bit of road noise that just adds to the fun, but we got some delicious food that you're about to see.
Take a look what I got. This is the grilled cheese for grown-ups. So normally we come over here and get sandwiches and we often get them to go, so I don't get the hot ones. So taking advantage of eating in today and got something that needs to be heated up, which of course is grilled cheese. I think it's got some cheddar in there, some Danish cheese, and some Munster. That is really good. A nice combo of cheeses. I just realized I probably should have added some bacon on there, which would have been a really nice smoky addition to it, but it's good just as it is. Perfect, like, I guess comfort food on a Saturday afternoon.
And I'll show you guys, you can see the traffic out there happening, so that's why it's a little bit loud. So check out this bad boy. I got something called a Turkey Mountain BLT. It's basically a take on a traditional BLT. On this guy we have some smoked turkey, tomato, lettuce, there's some bacon, and there's a pesto-y kind of mayo that I'm very excited to eat. Oh yeah. Check out the mounds of turkey in here. The bread is really fresh. This is one of my favorite sandwiches in the whole entire town. If you're coming to Cabarete, make sure to come here. All right, we're now back in our place and we're on our way to the pool area by the beach, and you can see, well, we're just surrounded in these palm trees here, huh?
We are, but I want to talk a little bit about how we end up booking apartments here, because a lot of you guys reach out and ask us that. Basically, both places that we stayed at so far, we found on Airbnb, and you can do monthly, look for monthly listings, because some places have like good discounts if you book for over 30 days. So take a look for that. You can actually go in and search monthly. And in general, you know, some places don't do, you know, it might be like $5,000 a month, and they obviously don't do good discounts, but lots of places do.
Yeah, and just because you said $5,000 a month, we're not paying anything even close to that.
No, although this place is definitely not budget either.
Well, welcome officially to our beautiful pool here at our condo. Does this not feel a little bit like a resort? There are chairs everywhere. You can lay down wherever you want. There is a restaurant, a little bar area. Honestly, the grounds are just gorgeous. There's also this where we're at right now. We're in like a little volley bed, and this happens to be the best seat in the house.
I think the best part about this is that you can be right by the pool and also like looking directly at the ocean. The ocean is literally right there. It's just a few steps away. The view from everywhere in this complex is just incredible. The last place we stayed was really, really close to the beach, but we couldn't see it, and it just feels a little bit extra special. And I know Trevor just mentioned the lounge chairs and the volley beds. We actually lucked out with this. I feel like we never can get a volley bed. But those lounge chairs, I was a little intimidated by them at first. They're really low to the ground. The hardest part about them is getting back up again once you're down, but when you are in them, they're so comfortable.
So a lot of you guys have been asking us questions as of late around how long we're going to be here in the Dominican Republic. We've already been here now for about 4 months, but honestly, we don't really have plans to leave just yet.
We have, however, booked a different apartment until early June, so
yes.
Chances are we're gonna fly home then. We haven't actually booked our plane tickets yet, but we've been keeping an eye on them, so I think that's probably gonna happen.
So what that also means is because we're here for a lot longer, if you guys have suggestions on what we should do in the Dominican Republic, like where we should go, what we should see, leave us a comment below, because we have lots of time to explore. Also, we think in probably about a month's time, we might be leaving Cabarete for a little while. We're still trying to kind of work all that out.
Yeah, so we have this apartment for another month or so. Then we have a few weeks where we're not quite sure what we're going to do, and then we have another apartment here in Cabarete booked.
Yeah.
So we have a few weeks in there to kind of play with, might we say.
So as you can probably tell, we're not getting sick of this place. I know a lot of you were wondering that as well. Like, honestly, the Dominican Republic has blown our minds, and I mean, how do you get sick of this? Honestly, it's paradise. It's pure paradise.
I think maybe if we were just staying in Cabarete the entire time and never did anything, sure, maybe we'd get a little bit tired of doing the same thing over and over again. But like Trevor just said, Dominican Republic has so much to offer. So I actually feel like in the last few weeks we've been so busy. We've done so many things. I feel like we've hardly spent any time here in Cabarete. Yeah. And then we have, as we kind of alluded to in the last video, we have some major upcoming plans next week with some other people.
Yeah, and we think some of you are gonna know who they are. So I'm gonna take you guys down to the beach here. As you can see, there are steps that go right down into the sand. So yeah, there is the condo, there is the beach. So this is one of the highlights at this condo that we're renting. We really like the appeal of being able to get to the beach and, you know, hang out by the pool like we're doing today. Right now we're a bit lucky because it's low tide, so it's not as rough out there, but there's always waves. We're on the north coast of the DR right now, so you're always gonna have a little bit of waves. Another thing we really like about this specific condo building is we're very close to town still, so we have about a 20-minute walk that way into town, and what we find is we walk there and then we walk back, and it gets, you know, gets all those steps in. It makes us exercise by default, and honestly it doesn't feel like exercising when you're walking on a beach like this. Also back this way is Kite Beach. So I think you guys know by now Cabarete is usually full of kite surfers. At the moment there's not much wind today. Honestly, that's why I had the drone in the air, because there's always windy. So today there's no kites, which is very weird, but Kite Beach, which has a few restaurants and things like that, is just back that way. So it's time for happy hour. It took us a minute to what's missing out of this whole situation right now, and it's of course nice cold cerveza. So some of you are probably wondering, do we like this place more than the last place that we lived at here in Cabarete? The very different, the main differences being the place we're renting right now, which we love, is just not set up for kind of long term. We're here for a couple months, so it kind of has some issues here and there, but in general, it's beautiful. It's speaking of beautiful, this pool area is untouchable. You cannot beat this. This is one of the nicest pools I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, if we go back to the other place just up the beach in Cabarete, that we prefer just as a whole, just like to live in. It was just set up for kind of long-term renters. Someone clearly lived there before and kind of had everything that you need. So we definitely prefer the other place a little bit, although visually this place is a lot more stunning.
So another thing I kind of wanted to touch on was that we get a lot of messages from people that started watching our videos, and specifically videos like this, because they're looking for property to buy down here and looking for advice. And the main thing I can say is maybe before really committing to something, try staying in a place like this for a week or two, at another place, like just try out a few places. Chances are when you're down by the pool, you're gonna end up meeting people that live here and they're gonna have really good advice for you.
Okay, pool time is over, but we just want to show you this one last thing. Look at all these bamboo trees, just like right above us. We are surrounded by these things, but this brings us to the end of the video. It's been another fun day here in Cabarete. We hope that you enjoyed the tour of our new home here.
Yeah, so we're here for a couple more months. Then we have a little bit of a break. We're not quite sure what we're gonna do, and then we have another apartment rented again. So we're gonna be obviously in the area for a long time.
Yeah, we got a lot planned. So if you got this far in the video, Trevor, Anna, delightful travelers, make sure to click subscribe, hit the like button, that really helps us out. Leave us a comment, heck, hit the share button, who even does that? As you can see, we are having such a blast here in the Dominican Republic.
And in the last video, we were exploring an eco lodge that was just outside of Puerto Plata. It was in the hills. It was super unique and fun. If you haven't watched that, definitely go back.
Yeah, and next up, guess where we're going? We're going back to Samana and probably Las Terranas again.
And hopefully gonna do a lot of things that you guys recommended.
So I think you guys are gonna like that. Also, I just wanna say one last thing. A big thanks to all of you that are watching. There's so many of you as of late clicking on the videos, and we just want you to know we really appreciate that. It's usually just us talking to this camera, and we just appreciate all the love coming from the other side, and we extra appreciate all of you that stop us here in Cabarete just to say hello.
So many people. We get stopped probably multiple times a day, and it's so great to say hi to everybody and get to chat with people.
Yeah, it is. So we're loving it here, but for now we gotta go wash up and yeah, call it a day.
All right, guys, that's it.
From Cabarete, wishing you delightful travels.
See you soon.